Hi, it's Adam Drummond here from WaggaWagga.tv. It's the online TV show all about Wagga Wagga, people, places and property. Now, we quite often talk about some light-hearted things happening here in Wagga, but we also get the opportunity to talk about some serious stuff too, things that affect the community. And today it's one of those days, and I'm joined by Wagga resident Leanne Billingham. Thanks for coming on the show, Leanne.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we're talking about something fairly serious here, or very serious here. It's a condition to do with asbestos. And forgive me because I know I'm hopeless at pronouncing this, but mesothelioma.
Correct. Yep.
And the other disease, of course, is asbestosis. Tell us, how has it affected your family and yourself personally?
Okay, well, Neil and I have been together for 30 years.
Yeah.
We've had our 3 boys, bought a house, started our own business 29 years ago. We had dreams.
The boys
for
have flown the coop.
Absolutely. So we had our future planned out, retirement, and 2.5 years ago, when Neil was 49, he was diagnosed with mesothelioma. So that has totally changed everything in our lives. It's, turned it upside down, basically.
And a lot of people know that mesothelioma is a cancer that's associated with asbestos-related material. And a lot of people will relate this to Bernie Banton, who was very famous because he had 2 fights on his hand. He was fighting battling the cancer, but also battling a lawsuit and trying to get compensation for a lot of people who had come across that through the fibros that they dealt with. He's got a website that is set up in his memory, and you're affiliated with this in some way. How are you affiliated with the Bernie Banton Foundation, and in particular the website?
Well, when Neil was diagnosed with mesothelioma, I got in contact with Rod Smith.
Yeah.
And since then I've been a part of it. I'm a team leader.
And who is Rod Smith, for those who don't know who Rod is?
Rod Smith is the Director and Operations Manager of the Bernie Banton Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been to this website, and you should check it out. Of course, we'll have this on the screen for you, but there's a lot of information out there about mesothelioma and also asbestosis.
Yes.
And all of the illnesses that you can get from asbestos. What some people may not know is that you can get it not just from, it's widely associated with fibro and asbestos in fibro, particularly houses. Mm-hmm. What are some of the ways that people can get afflicted by it?
Well, Neil's was through brake liners.
Okay, because Neil is a mechanic.
That's right, yeah.
Spent his whole life under the car, obviously.
Yes.
So there are old things like the brake liners that has asbestos in them.
Yes.
And more commonly, it's found in some fibro sheds and things, and everyone really knows about that. And what are some of the precautions that people should take if they're renovating the home and they're dealing with fibro and asbestos?
Yeah, well, also too, there's like the glues,
yes,
the tiles, and the underlays. With the carpets, lino, the old lino. So they've got to be aware of that as well.
Okay.
The protection, is really important if they're dealing with renovations with the houses. Absolutely.
What are some of the things that they should do to protect themselves, and who should they speak to if they are dealing with their own renovations?
Okay, they need to, they can contact the Bernie Banton Foundation,
Okay,
or they can contact their Wagga Local Council here in Wagga Wagga.
Yep.
And they'll give them all the advice of what sort of protection gear that they need and how to dispose of that protection gear once they're finished with it.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the symptoms that people find once they're afflicted by this illness?
Okay. It's basically flu-like symptoms.
Okay.
So you'll get the high temperatures, you might get a persistent cough, heavy chest,
Yep,
muscle aches, as if you've pulled a muscle.
So,
Yeah,
if
like
you've been dealing in particular with a lot of building materials, whether it's these glues and chemicals or even fibro, and you get those symptoms, you should see a specialist or a doctor straight away?
Yeah, absolutely, and get an X-ray done or a CT scan done.
Now, it is a fairly rare disease. What sort of support is out there? Say you're in Wagga Wagga and you find that you've been diagnosed with either asbestosis or mesothelioma. Mm-hmm. What sort of support is there in our local community? Who should they see, and what do you do?
Okay, we have an asbestos support group here in Wagga.
Yep.
Inga Webster is affiliated with the asbestos support group.
Okay.
And people can phone her. They can also phone myself.
Yes.
And or email myself.
Okay, and we'll put those details on the screen as well so that you get in contact with Leanne directly.
Yep.
And what sort of things do you do in these support groups?
Well, it's sort of, it's a very casual support group. So we go around to different places and have lunch and get together and, you know, we can share one another's stories.
Yep. A lot of socialising, by the sound.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. And,
So
and it's so important to have friends and family that can help you get through it, particularly when so many of us Aussies like to bottle things up and keep it to ourselves.
Yeah,
It's important to get
absolutely.
out there
Yep.
socially, I'm assuming.
Yeah, very much so.
Is there
it's
anything
good.
else that you want to make everyone aware of? Because we are trying to make people aware of this illness because it is rare, but when you have it, it does change your life.
Yeah,
so
very
we'll direct
important.
people to the Bernie Banton Foundation and the website. As I said earlier, I've been on it and it is extremely detailed. There's a fantastic little video there which shows Bernie battling it out. He passed away in 2007, but not before winning the court case against James Hardy with that fibro asbestos case and compensating everyone that was involved as well. So check it out, the Bernie Banton Foundation website. Thanks very much, Leanne. This is Adam Drummond from wagga-wagga.tv. It's the online TV show all about people, places and property, brought to you by Livestream Australia and Wagga Wagga Web.